Welcome Inside the Lines. I am Greg Sussman. This is Frank Stanfield. Tonight, the Knicks are at home at Madison Square Garden taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, they are a 7-point underdog with the game total sitting at 219. Knicks have played well as of late. They've covered in 3 in a row, 4 of their last 6. Thunder, they haven't covered in 5 in a row. But on the road, the Oklahoma City Thunder are a much different team. They're 21-8 against the spread on the road. That's the best record in the NBA.
Yeah, one of the best teams in the NBA. You mentioned it, Greg. The ATS record, that is 21-8 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But don't sleep on the Knicks tonight as well, because they've played well in the home underdog role. They are 13-10 against the spread in that role this season. A clear advantage for the Knicks, Greg. I'm going back to the rebounding department. They are 7th in the NBA in rebounding. I expect Julius Randle to have another really big game. The Oklahoma City Thunder, on the other hand, are only 25th in rebounding in the NBA. As
good as OKC is on the road against the spread, it's not exactly a familiar position for them, as they're just 3-3 as a favorite on the road. They are that tonight at Madison Square Garden. This total, Frank, it sits at 219. The Knicks, before the Jazz game earlier this week, they'd gone over in 5 consecutive contests, but this number does seem low. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't think it's all that low. I think it's warranted where it's at right now at 219, because both of these teams are in the bottom 10 in the NBA in terms of pace. The Oklahoma City Thunder are one of the better defensive teams in the NBA as well, Greg. And when you look at the Knicks at home this season, they are 19-11-1 to the under as well. So once they get inside the Garden, they typically do play to the under. The Thunder are a better defensive team as well. So I think this number is actually warranted where it's at 219.
We'll see what happens across the street. But coming up next, right here on Inside the Lines, the Lakers and the Bucks. We preview it coming up next.
They say less is more, but we believe more is more. That's why we built FanDuel Sportsbook with more ways to bet, more ways to fund your account, more ways to cash in, and more ways to cash out, with payouts delivered straight to your bank account in as little as 48 hours. You want more? You got it. Join today and get a risk-free bet worth up to $500. FanDuel Sportsbook. More ways to win.
Back inside the lines, Greg Sussman and Frank Stanfield. Before we get to that main event, let's take a stop in Dallas, where the Mavericks are taking on the Grizzlies tonight. And according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, the Grizzlies are a 6.5-point underdog with the game total sitting at 226.5. Last time these two teams played, the Grizzlies won by a whole bunch. Will it be different tonight?
I am not so sure, Greg. I do like the Grizzlies in the spot here. Luka Doncic is questionable for this game as he deals with an illness. And the Memphis Grizzlies are hot, man. They have won 3 in a row by an average of 31.7 points per game. How are they doing that? Defense. They are holding their opponents in the last 3 games to just 85 points per game. The Mavericks have struggled at home this season, just 12-18-1 against the spread. They allowed a big game to Lonzo Ball last time out. I expect Ja Morant to be very busy tonight. Give me Memphis Grizzlies to cover the spread here, plus 6.5. And to quote Jared Smith, a little bit of a sprinkle on the money line, Greg.
There you go. They won by 14 last time these two teams played. I'm not taking the money line. I do think they covered this number. It's too high in Dallas tonight. Now let's move on to LA, where the Lakers are hosting the Bucks in what can be a preview of the NBA Finals. The Lakers are a 1.5 favorite at home. The total sits at 228.5. According to the FanDuel Sportsbook, these two teams played in Milwaukee earlier the year, and the Bucks were able to hold off the Lakers at home. Will the Lakers get revenge tonight?
I'm not so sure, Greg. I like the Bucks in this spot. Look, there's a matchup of MVPs. This is Wilder Fury on the hardwood tonight, Greg, with the Lakers and the Bucks here. Last time out, you mentioned it, that the Bucks pulled off the win, 111-104 in that game. And look, the Lakers are playing great right now, specifically LeBron James, in the second half of the season so far, averaging 29 points per game, 9.8 assists. But that defense of the Milwaukee Bucks will be too much again tonight. I like the Milwaukee Bucks to win this game outright in Los Angeles.
Both of these defenses are top 10 in the NBA, and this number opened at 223 all the way up to 228.5. That's too much of an overcorrection for me. I'll take the under and just not pick a side. It's too tough. Let's move on to our Dollar Holla here, our long shot bet of the night. For me, I look at Minnesota and Orlando. I really like Naz Reid coming off back-to-back double-doubles. I think he gets another one tonight. I also think the Timberwolves can win this game against Orlando, and you can get that at plus 740.
I'm taking Duncan Robinson to score 20-plus points and the Heat win. You're getting that at plus 860. He has scored over 20 points in 2 of his last 4 games.
All right, the Knicks and the Thunder are coming up, but first, it's Knicks game night. For Frank Stanfield, I'm Greg Sussman. Enjoy the game, everybody.